Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a wee bit different. We're having a wee bit of fun. We're breaking away from the normal Celtic related news, transfer news, team news, match previews, predictions, all that nonsense. We're going to be having a bit of fun and we're going to talk about the return of the very famous and very loved Masters football. Right then, before we go any further with this video, please, if you haven't already, drop down below and hit that subscribe button. It helps me out on the road to 33,000 subscribers as we try and get ever closer to the big 40k. This is something a bit different, so if you're here for the first time and you haven't seen the channel before, please make sure to press down below and we could maybe do a little bit more fun videos in the future. It would help if you press it and it'll help know what you like. So, Masters football is returning. That might be a term to some people which is completely alien. Some people might not have a clue what Masters football is, especially if you're a little bit younger. Masters football might be something you've never seen or never heard of, but it is returning after an 11-year absence, much to the delight of millions of football fans. Held for about 10 years back in the mid-2000s up to 2011, Masters football was basically a six-a-side Legends tournament which seen major clubs like Manchester United, Liverpool, all bring out their legends, all wheel out their over 35s icons, and basically have a mini tournament which was just for a bit of fun, but also was really enjoyable to watch. Now, it's been a long time since it's been on the TV, but it has been announced that because of the likes of Martin O'Neill, it's coming back. I believe Adam Lallana of Brighton, Martin O'Neill and one of his former Nottingham Forest teammates are very pivotal in the return of this. They're bringing it back and fans are excited. It's actually going to be held in Braehead, just outside of Glasgow, and people are excited because it's a little bit of nostalgia, but it's also some great fun, some football during the summer and a time where, of course, the season has ended, and it's a time for some fans like us at Celtic, Rangers, Man United and Liverpool, the teams confirmed to be playing, get to bring back some of their well-loved icons and see them play football one more time in what is still a competitive wee tournament. So in today's video, I'm going to go through what I would pick as my six-a-side team for Celtic heading into this tournament. The last team to win it was in fact Rangers. Rangers were the last ever winners in 2011, so Celtic have something to try and take away from them, and what is going to be quite fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes down. You know, Celtic against Rangers in a competition like this. Will it still be as feisty? Will the fans still be segregated in the arena? We'll have to wait and see. However, we're just here for a bit of fun today, and I'm going to pick my six-a-side plus subs for Celtic this summer. Now, keep in mind, this is probably not going to be the team that Celtic play in the field. It's probably not going to be the guys who go along to the tournament. It's just a sort of dream scenario that we can have a little bit of fun with. Keep in mind, they've got to be over 35 years old. They've got to have played for Celtic. And we've also got to take into consideration, we can't pick players who have played for Manchester United or Liverpool because there's a chance they could play for them. So Roy Keane, for example, if he takes part, you'd assume he'd be part of the Manchester United team. But we'll wait and see. And this is the six that I'm going to pick for a laugh. So here we go. Let's go through my thought process, my team selection, and the reasons why I'm picking all of these guys. And it's best to start in goals, isn't it? Start from the back and make our way forward. And in goals, I'm going for none other than the man himself, Artur Boruc. Now, there is a few options you could pick here. You could go far back. You could say Rob Douglas if you wanted. You could probably bring David Marshall back if you wanted as well. There's a few guys over 35. I mean, Joe Hart's not a kick in the arse off playing for this team as well. But I'm going to go for the big man, Artur Boruc. He is still playing football. He might want the summer off. However, it's July 8th. Legia Warsaw shouldn't be up to much at that point. And we can bring him in. I mean, who doesn't want to see Artur Boruc back in a Celtic shirt? He's a madman. He knows what it is to play for Celtic. He's one of the most passionate Celtic players of all time. He's my favourite Celtic player of all time, and I would love to see him in goals once more. We've seen him come back for a couple of charity events at Celtic Park. His performances have been questionable, to say the least. However, this is still the #1 keeper at Legia Warsaw. He's off the back of a championship winning season. We won't talk about the current season at Legia Warsaw, but he's just off the back of winning the league. He's still playing week in, week out for the Polish champions, and to see him in a Celtic jersey one more time, playing against Rangers as well, would be a little bit of fun. And if I was to pick anybody, I'm certainly going for Artur Boruc. So there's my pick, and hopefully he's sober enough to come over and have a laugh again. At the back, one defender and one defender only, and the guy that I'm going to pick is Bobo Baldé. The big man's now 46 years of age, and I don't think we've heard too much of Bobo Baldé in recent times. I'm not too sure what he's up to. He's been retired for quite a while now. But I'd love to see him one more time. An absolute madman. You know, I've set the tone, haven't I? I've got Artur Boric and I've got Bobo Baldé, two of the most hot-headed figures in recent Celtic memory. We want a red card, then your money's probably on Bobo Baldé. And do you know what? I just want to see him go through somebody one more time. You know, a two-footed lunge, taking out one of the players in the Rangers team for a laugh. And I just want to see him again. He's someone who, when I was really young, I enjoyed so much. I just love the presence of the guy. I think him strolling around that blue carpet at Braehead could be some laugh. And he's somebody who, you know, a lot of Celtic fans have very fond and not so fond memories of. But Bobo Baldé, I mean, imagine him one more time strolling around that back line trying to take out the likes of Michael Moles or Ali McCoist. That would be a good laugh. Midfield, 3 players we're going to pick from here. And we're going to start with one who I think has still got the legs in him. He's freshly retired. He's not too old. He's still probably got a little bit in him. Joe Ledley, a player who was loved at Celtic and loved in Wales for his contributions to the national team, for example. A player who had great technical ability. He's someone who you could just see running the game against any of the sides, whether it be Man United, Liverpool, Rangers, whoever else is involved. Joe Ledley's probably still got that little bit of youth in him compared to some of the other guys who'll be involved. Pulling strings, pinging passes, pinging shots. I think he could be really valuable to Celtic's midfield 3. You know what? Joe Ledley was someone who I watched with great energy, great feelings, because he was just so good at what he done. And I would love to see him one more time. He has a famous goal against Rangers in real football. Now let's get him a good goal, a famous goal against Rangers in Masters football. I'd love to see Joe Ledley in a Celtic top again. I mean, it was only a few years ago I was saying to myself, wouldn't mind Joe Ledley signing for Celtic again. Let's have him in the Masters football. Why not? Second, Simon Donnelly. Got to go for Simon. He's still very much expressing his feelings about Celtic all the time. You see him popping up on Twitter, and someone who as well is loved by Celtic supporters for his involvement with Celtic back in the late 90s. He's of course part of that team that helped stop the 10 in a row. And a big Celtic fan. He's someone who I think would be keen to get involved. A lot of players from that era you could pick from. There's plenty of players in that team that I think would be sort of chomping at the bit to get involved with this sort of thing. I remember being at the Larsson, Sutton and Hartson event at the Hydro a few months ago, and Simon Donnelly was there as part of the wee group that came out at the end, and you know, they were bringing up stories about him. I feel like he's someone who brings a great laugh to the team. He's always got a great personality, and he's someone who I would love to just see kick a ball for a laugh here. He's obviously a talented player as well. Great career. Most of that career being really successful at Celtic. So let's bring him in. Let's get him into this team, and he can certainly bring a little bit of pizzazz, as the next person would like to say. I can't believe I'm about to say it, and you know what's coming. Ladies and gentlemen, my third midfielder, and the person I'm going to put in this team, none other than your man, Neil Francis Lennon. Now, you're talking about frosty atmospheres, then there's not one that I think would be more frosty in this team than Neil Lennon. I don't know how he would be received into the audience there. He'd probably receive a large amount of cheers from Rangers supporters as well, but it would just be some laugh to get Neil Lennon in the team. Look, I know I've said so much about Neil Lennon over the past couple of years. I know that on the podcast we all said, like, oh, he's tarnishing his reputation as a Celtic legend. He's throwing that away. He's never going to be remembered like that. But to see him pull up the socks one more time as a Celtic player, I think it's just a laugh that look, listen, my opinions haven't really changed, but I think to see him trying to stroll about that park at Braehead would be an utter buzz. I think that would be just simply fantastic. And also I just want to see how the reaction goes. I want to see how the Celtic fans receive him into the stadium. As I said, there will be probably half and half boos, half cheers after that horrendous 10 in a row season. However, if he wants to make up for it, he's got a chance by playing for this team, by pulling the socks up, by putting the kit on one more time and getting us a nice wee result at this Masters tournament. Neil Lennon, play the clip.
Get off me.
And up front, I mean, who else am I going to pick? It's got to be, and you know, I don't know if he'll be involved in the tournament. I don't know if it's his thing, but you'd love to see your man Henrik Larsson, wouldn't you? I mean, what else is there to say about Henrik Larsson other than goals, legend? If there's anybody you could choose and you want to see one more time, and we've seen him at a few charity games, a few testimonials and such, but if you want to see him play in a wee bit of a competitive environment, then you're obviously want to pick Henrik Larsson for this. I mean, how many more times are we going to be able to enjoy watching him in a football park? Bring him on. Get him involved. There's a few options, you know. You could have went to Robbie Keane, for example, who could also be involved in Liverpool. There's even the likes of Scott McDonald. There's some other strikers that we've seen throughout the mid-2000s and such that could be involved in this. John Hartson and Chris Sutton. There's tons of players you could choose from. However, Henrik Larsson, that's a no-brainer. That's the first name on your team sheet, isn't it? And if Martin O'Neill's managing Celtic in this competition, I'm sure the first name in his team sheet is going to be Henrik Larsson as well. So the three substitutes, who am I picking? I tried to take some inspiration from suggestions on Twitter as to who could be in this team. And the three that I've decided to go for, Alan Thompson, Bobby Petta, Johan Mjalby. There's your three. Another couple of midfielders, a defender as well. There's so much rotation you could do anyway. You could probably shove Simon Donnelly up front at some point if wee Henrik needs a break. I see wee Henrik. You know, there's just great options. And there's so many players you could pick for this. But that's the three subs I'm going for. Thompson, you know, he's still very much involved with all his sort of meet and greet nights and such and all these after dinner speech sort of things. He'll be loving to get involved in something like this. Johan Mjalby is just an absolute maniac, and Bobby Petta is someone I'm sure that many Celtic fans would love to see again as well, for the ability that he would bring. I think that is a fantastic group of 9 players that could make this a very enjoyable tournament for Celtic fans watching, both in the stadium and on the televisions at home. That's my 9. That's the ones that I want to see. So that's it. A little bit of fun, as I said, firing through this video. We may as well change it up a little bit today, but that's a team that I think can win this wee championship, take it away from Rangers, who won it in 2011. It's going to be very exciting to see who the likes of Man United, Liverpool and Rangers also pick as we get ever closer to this event. It's something that will be on the back burners, considering what's happening in the real football at the moment, but it's something I'm very much excited for. The nostalgia is running through the veins as I wait for this to happen. And listen, there's so many players we could bring up for this, so many that will trigger so many memories for Celtic fans. But aye, there's mine. Let me know yours in the comments below. It's just a bit of fun, as I said, no need to take it all too seriously. And aye, there you go. Bring back Masters football. I cannot wait. See you all next time.